Most restaurant owners, especially first-time restaurant owners, love to quote that movie Field of Dreams. You remember, right? If you build it, they will come. And they feel it. They feel it so deeply. That idea that the public, the market is desperate for what they have to deliver. But the reality is that's rarely true. Diners already have places that they love. They're not necessarily looking for something new. So it's an uphill battle whenever you open a restaurant. But these are the 5 biggest reasons why a restaurant might close in its first year. It happens all the time. And once you're aware of these things, you'll know how to avoid them. If you don't know me, my name is Chip Close. I'm the founder and CEO of Restaurant Strategy. I help independent restaurant owners increase the profitability of their restaurants. What does that mean? It means we show you how to make more so that you can work less. We're talking about restaurant openings, and whether this is your first opening or your 50th opening, there are pitfalls. In fact, their statistics are pretty clear. It says 50% of all restaurants close in the first year, 80% close within the first 2 years. So, what are the things that lead to those fast closings? And once you're aware of them, how can you avoid them? That's what we're going to talk about here. First and foremost, number one, we got to talk about it. The number one reason why restaurants close in their first year are simply because they're undercapitalized. That you raise whatever money you can, right? You dip into your savings and you drain your retirement accounts, and then ask your cousin Ted and your niece Cindy and you're asking everybody you can to scrape together whatever you can just to get open. And that is one of the biggest things that's going to screw you, because you planned on getting open, but you didn't plan on the long runway you need to sustain it, to give people a chance to find you and come back. You don't have the money to really put behind marketing, which you need to do. All of these things are going to kill you. So you're going to get to day one, but you have to be sure that you can get to day 120. That's where you need a healthy cash reserve. So you're not struggling over which vendor to pay or whether you're going to meet payroll this week. So the number one reason why I see restaurants close is simply because they're undercapitalized. That leads to additional loans. It leads to MCA, right? Merchant cash advances, which is just like a death spiral for a restaurant, especially a new restaurant. Number two, second reason why I think restaurants close, or why I see restaurants close in the first year, has to do with poor market research. You didn't properly take the time to look around the market and see what exists and what's already succeeding, and what exists that is failing, and then find a gap and figure out what does not exist that I think could be successful, right? There's a reason places are busy, and there's a reason places are not busy. You have the unenviable task of trying to decipher the code, trying to figure out why a market behaves the way it behaves. Now, this is especially dangerous if you know the market, right? If you live here and you just take for granted, because what happens is you start having this bias towards your own behaviors and the behaviors of your friend group, that you really have to understand the true market. If you say, hey man, there's 40,000 people in this market, don't assume that they're all going to behave like you. So if you're building the restaurant that you and your friends want, don't assume that there are enough people to keep it running, right? So understanding your market. The other thing is really driving around, really seeing what's working, and more than just what restaurants are doing and not doing. I think you really want to understand consumer behavior. Who works here, who lives here, what do they do with their free time, what do they do with their discretionary income? All of that. Listen, you can hire firms to come in and give you all of that information. But beyond just the demographic information and the population number, you really want to be able to scrape below the surface so you understand how people spend their time and their discretionary income. That's the number 2 reason. Number 3 is this poor ramp-up period. So I always talk about this like the 3 to 6 months before you open. And what happens is you're focused so deeply on the renovations, on the remodel, on putting together the menu and getting your beverage and all your vendors set up and your permits and all of that, that you'd miss a crucial opportunity to get the public excited. A simple sign outside, and I really mean this, right? If you're going to board up the windows so nobody can see inside, fine. Create a little bit of mystery, fine. But putting up a sign out front, right, and be the first to know, sign up to get an exclusive invite to our members-only dinner or our invite-only opening night party, whatever it is, build a little, build a little energy. One of the first things you should do from a marketing standpoint is to grab your website, right? Grab grab the URL so you have a domain name, and even just put up a splash page, a landing page where it says, opening winter 2027, and say, be the first to know about, events, programming, and our opening dates, right? And just collect people's name, email, and if you can, phone number. It'd be helpful. Grab your website, collect emails that way. Put a sign on the front door where like a QR code where people can sign up to join that list. Grab your social media handles. So if you're going to have a presence on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, grab those handles. Start living in them, right? Put yourself front and center. Put someone front and center. Walk them through the renovations. Walk them through the construction. Walk them through menu development. Get people excited before you're there. Start putting out press releases. All of this is what I call the ramp-up period, and it's a crucial opportunity. You've heard me say it now a couple of times. It's a crucial opportunity to grow that email list and start building a little buzz. You want to get the community behind you. That's the third thing that I think most people miss, and I see it over and over and over. The fourth thing, poor training for both your managers and your staff. So the staff, the hosts, the servers, the bartenders, the bussers, the runners, the cooks, the dishwashers, right? You've got to dial that training in. I think you're going to have to hire more people than you think. It's usually like you're going to lose about 50% of the people before you get to your 90-day mark. So overhire, overstaff in the beginning. The other piece of training is your managers. Make sure they understand what their job is for the first 30, 60, 90 days, 120. Make sure they understand when it switches, when we go from, overstaffing, making sure we've got a great guest experience, to when we have to start dialing in profitability and operating like a sustainable business. That training and that development over the let's say 2 months before you open, and then the 3 or 4 months after you open is absolutely crucial. And I watch so many restaurants stumble right out of the gate. Finally, the last thing, the fifth thing that I think keeps people down, the reason that causes a restaurant to just flop and fail from the beginning, is that they are undifferentiated and unremarkable, right? In a market, if you say, oh, we're going to bring a new steakhouse, you have to have a new angle, because there's already a steakhouse in that market, I guarantee you. So, hey, there's already a steakhouse. We're opening a new steakhouse. We're just like the other steakhouses, except we ... And you fill in the blank, right? What sets you apart? We're a Greek place, but we're a street food Greek restaurant, right? We're an Indian restaurant, but we focus on sandwiches and other street food. We are a seafood restaurant, but we are very, very high end. We are a seafood restaurant, but we are a continental European style, whatever it is. We are Italian, but we're coastal Italian. Whatever it is, you need to understand how you differentiate yourself from the other options that are there in the market. Just being quote unquote better is not enough, because people have already fallen in love with, and they've gotten into a rhythm and a habit of going to the places that they already know, like, and trust. You have to give them a reason. We're just like that, except we're different in this way. Finally, then, part of this is you have to be remarkable. And nobody needs another pizza place. Nobody needs another sushi restaurant. Nobody needs another Italian joint. On and on and on. You know what I'm saying? We don't need just another. Oh, we are fresher. Oh, we are better. Oh, it just doesn't work. There's got to be something very visible and obvious, a way that you stand out. So your dining room can be very different. Your location can be different. The way you plate your dishes, the prices, maybe they're way more expensive. Or maybe they're way cheaper. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, I'm fine with it. But you need to be differentiated, and you need to be remarkable. It needs to be obvious how you stand out in your market. I can't tell you. Those 5 things are the thing that sinks so many restaurants. Now, if you want help actually implementing any of these strategies into your restaurant, especially if you have an opening coming up, right? Not just learning them, but actually understanding the systems that you can put into place so you can consistently get your team rowing in the right direction, so you can consistently get customers coming back into your place. And that's exactly what we do inside the P3 Mastermind. So again, I run a company, right? It's called Restaurant Strategy, where we help independent restaurant owners increase profits. The main way we do that is through our coaching program. It's called the P3 Mastermind. So far, we've put more than 500 people through that program. The program has grown because the program works. It literally is where I get to work directly with restaurant owners from all over the country to, again, help you increase revenue, improve your margins, and build a business that doesn't rely on guesswork. You can check out more details in the link below. And listen, if you found this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and otherwise, I will see you on the next one.